Dr. Bill McConochie. I am a psychologist in Eugene, Oregon. I have practiced as a psychologist for over 40 years, working in many different fields, including school psychology, clinical psychology, industrial and organizational psychology, and for the past several years doing research in political psychology. I am a graduate of the Stanford University Summer Institute in Political Psychology. I am a member of the International Society of Political Psychologists and have presented papers at their last 4 international conventions. I am a member of the divisions of Peace Psychology and Environmental Psychology of the American Psychological Association. I will present a paper this summer at the American Psychological Association Convention in San Diego on the psychology of environmentalism. I have felt very concerned about the state of the world ever since I was in college and have wondered how I could make a major contribution to addressing world problems. Only in the last several years have I found a way to make a contribution that is well enough grounded in scientific information to justify sharing. My research has provided many insights into the psychology of human political thinking. One of the most interesting findings is the percentage of citizens that prefer different types of national governments. A few Americans endorse anarchy. Some endorse military dictatorships. More still endorse monarchies. About 20% of Americans endorse democracy that serves citizens as members of special interest groups, as we have in the United States at present. In contrast, about 90% of Americans would prefer government that serves them as members of the community overall, rather than as members of special interest groups. I call this public democracy. Persons respond on my research questionnaires to each of these 5 types of government separately, so they can endorse more than one type. Thus, the percentages can total more than 100. In addition, my research shows that you can very reliably measure human attitudes about warmongering, different types of religious beliefs, authoritarianism, endorsement of sustainable policies and programs, protection of the environment, human rights endorsement, and even traits such as endorsing lying and conniving in political activities and xenophobia, or fear of foreigners. Through my research, I have been able to develop a very reliable measure of warmongering proneness. Journalists or historians can use this 50-item rating scale to get very reliable measures of the warmongering proneness of either historical figures or current political leaders. I have also developed a scale for measuring constructive leadership attitudes. Another important and very encouraging finding is that the number of citizens who endorse human rights, public democracy, environmental protection, and kindly religious beliefs outnumber those who endorse warmongering, fundamentalist religious beliefs, fear of foreigners, and militant governments by a ratio of 10 to 1 or more. To explore how public democracy might evolve, I have created a model for a new form of political party that would be funded entirely by party member dues with no special interest group money at all. I have done research to find out how many citizens would be interested in such a party. The results have been encouraging. This party would define its platform by conducting sophisticated public opinion polls of the general public first, and then of party member dues, and then of party members, to define specific policies and programs that citizens want their state and national governments to promote. The party would groom candidates for elective office that would be dedicated to promoting this party platform. These candidates would agree by contract to accept no special interest group money from lobbyists, either before elected to public office or during their terms of office. It is my belief that until and unless political parties develop along this model, or one like it, governments will continue to be controlled by special interest group money and power, regardless of how much they claim to be democratic in their constitutions. I have been a member of Rotary International for 20 years and enjoy their weekly meetings. Rotary Rotarians are community leaders from countries around the world. There are Rotary clubs in more nations than belong to the United Nations. Rotarians are dedicated to doing good in the world, such as eradicating polio. I believe such citizens will gravitate to this new form of political party. The party will have interesting monthly meetings in every community. The meetings will be constructive, efficient, and fun, much as Rotary meetings are. I am already 70 years old. I wish I could live another 100 years, because with the advent of the internet and with sophisticated public opinion polling techniques now available to citizens, this more advanced form of political party and democracy may indeed blossom and evolve in the next few decades. I think the impact on nations will be dramatic, reducing the number of warmongering leaders in governments and replacing politicians who ignore serious problems that threaten the entire human species, including global warming, destruction of the environment, overpopulation, selfishness, and indifference to the common good. For more detail, you can go to my nonprofit corporation website, politicalpsychologyresearch.com, or you can contact me by email, bill@politicalpsychologyresearch.com. I'm willing to work with organizations or groups that think these ideas are worth pursuing. Thank you for listening.